Good day, my people. How are you guys doing? I wanted to get on here. I've been talking about getting on here for a bit. Welcome to Jazz Talks. I haven't figured out, I guess there's a little bit more to just other than hitting, go live on YouTube than I thought. So I guess it's like a 24-hour process or something. And so I'm coming to you in a pre-recorded, but please do subscribe for other updates because I have like a long list of videos that I would like to post on here. And I will be eventually going live once YouTube decides to give me the permission to. I wanted to come on here because I posted recently a picture of myself. Yes, I get the critics, but I also get a lot of people that are like, hey, what can I do to have abs like that and whatnot? And I've always been a big ab workout person. My theory, a lot of people say you don't have to work out abs as long as you engage your abs during all your exercises, which is true. But for me, the reason why I have, for me, my idea is you can thin out all you want. Like skinny people, they'll be skinny. And they don't necessarily have their abs popping, right? So my thing is, if you don't work the muscle, like any other muscle, the ab muscle needs to be worked out. If you don't work out the muscle, it's not going to pop. So that's my theory for you. And so I try to incorporate 10 to 15 minutes of an ab workout. And it may not seem a lot, but I'm the type of person that I don't do by reps. That's my thing. I don't do by reps. I do by time. There was a point in time where I would do like a whole song. If I was doing sit-ups, I would do this whole songs. If I was doing machine crunches, I would do the whole song. Boom. And then like if I'm doing machine crunches, I'll do front, one side, crunch, and then the other side, crunch, right? So that's how I do it. So I do like 1 to 2 minute intervals. I've always been an ab person since day one. Like my ab obsession started when Janet Jackson came out with That's the Way Love Goes. And she came out sporting the most amazing abs in history, I think. And so my obsession with abs started very, very young. And I've been working out. I'm 47 now, going on 48 in May. Yes. A lot of people don't believe it, but yes, I've been working out since I've always been into sports. But I've been working out since I was like heavily, since I got into college at Northern Essex Community College here in Massachusetts. And that was probably 18 years old by the time I got into college. So I've been working out heavily like that, but I was working out way before because I did sports all the time. And they run us ragged when they do sports. And I would do like 3 or 4 sports at a time. So I've always been into fitness, but a lot of people say, what's the workout? So I wanted to review quickly what that looks like and consists of. I will be posting more videos of my ab workout. I got 2 that are sitting on my phone that I'll probably post right after this. And so what I do is I set my timer for 1 minute and I do it on my watch because then I feel it vibrating on my arm. And this one is a Samsung Galaxy 4 watch. I had, the sport one, the Samsung Sport, 2. All the smartwatches right now have a timer on it. The timer on my watch is probably the easiest to access aside from the spin mode on my watch. And so I just, put it up and I select the little hourglass and then I put 1 minute, and then when the minute is up, all of a sudden it starts vibrating in my hand and it's done. So I'll do the leg lifts. The one that I just recently started loving is the leg lift with the ball, the exercise ball in between the legs, only because it separates your legs, and when you're bringing it up, you're putting a little pressure just to hold it, and you're bringing it up. I've noticed that in the groin area and up, a lot of people were mentioning, hey Jazz, how did you get that V? And like, I like focusing on lifting my legs. I noticed that with lifting my legs up off the ground and stuff like that, or adding weights to that, it works the lower part of your abdominal muscles. And you know us women, if we've had children, we have that little persistent pooch that keeps just lingering there. And so, yeah, I don't like the pooch just as much as anybody else. So my thing is trying to focus on that. And like, you know those those ankle straps that you use for like kickbacks and stuff like that, and leg abductors that you can put around your ankle? If you put those on your ankles and do just straight leg lifts up and down, and to the point where the key to a lot of the ab exercises is to keep your back flat on the floor. If it is arching up, you're using more of your back. If you bring your legs down to the point where your back starts arching, you're using more of your back, and you're going to feel it in your back. And that's why a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, I don't like doing a lot of ab exercises because I'm feeling it in my back. Bring them down to the point where you start feeling that it's going to go there, but don't let it go there, and then bring it back up. So you're always going to be, maintain straight, a little bit of like tension in your abdominal muscles. The key to doing abs for me, is work through the burn. It has always been my method. Work through the burn. Don't just do it till like 20 or you're burning and stuff like that. Breathe. When you start feeling that burning, breathe and continue. If you have to slow down, fine and dandy, but breathe. And I do that for like a minute with the ball. I also do the crunch machine where you're in a seated position and your feet are underneath this little cushion. And then you have the two arms that bring them down. So I like doing that 1 minute at a time as well. And it has a seat that swivels sideways. So you can do your side obliques there. So you do those one at a time. And I start with 10 pounds, then I go up to 20 pounds, then I go up to 30, and then 40. Every now and then I'll get overzealous and I'll put a 45 on there, and I'll do four 1 minute sets. So I do 1 minute because it's like you're not sitting there counting in your head and waiting for that number 20 if you're doing 20, or 40 if you're doing 40. You're just going at it, and every time you bring that in, if you're doing crunches, every time you bring that in, make sure you just squeeze the heck out of your abs. I mean squeeze. Breathe at the same time, but squeeze. It's a technique. Breathing while you're doing your ab exercises is a technique that you have to think about. It's easy for me because I used to be a boxer. For 10 years I was a boxer. I'm retired now. But in boxing, you have to maintain your abdominal muscles tight, because if you get a body hit, you're going to feel it, because usually it's right in your gut, right? And so you always have to maintain that tightness. So on top of the fact that, I've always been an ab person, I was trained to breathe, 1, as a boxer, 2, to tighten up my core every time, for a long extended amount of times, because you never know when that hit is going to come. You know what I mean? So One thing that they used to do is take one of those weighted balls and, like I was flat on the ground and they would just drop the ball from a decent distance and hit my abs just to make sure that I could take a punch. You know what I mean? So, that is another technique that you could do to yourself. You know what I mean? I know it's self-torture and everything, and nobody wants to go through torture, but yes, that is one of the techniques that I had, trained with in boxing. So let's go on to what I came up with as far as my nutrition. Because a lot of people were like, oh, like, what's your exercise and what's your nutrition? So exercise is whatever you do with abs, 1 minute intervals. If you're a beginner when it comes to ab, do as much time as you can and just work your way up. At some point in time, you'll get overzealous and do 2 minute intervals. I've done 2 minute intervals. I've done 5 minute intervals on the crunch machine. Like, it all depends on how much time you have. Like, if that's the only exercise you're going to do with the crunch machine, you do 5 minutes center, 5 minutes right, 5 minutes left. Get all those abs in, right? So that's all, that's my technique as far as the exercise goes. And I've always believed in, if you don't work the muscle, you're not going to build the muscle, and, you're not going to see that pop. You're not going to see those divides and whatnot when it comes to, your abs. You're going to see something. You're just not going to see them as defined. Unless you're like down to like no body fat. So, as far as diet is concerned, when I started my fitness journey, I was always the person that thought I work out for 2 hours a day so I can eat whatever I want. And a lot of people are like that. A lot of people in fitness are like that. But seasoned vets, with age comes wisdom, okay? And my wisdom evolved. And so I think what forced my wisdom to evolve was COVID. COVID forced my wisdom to evolve because the gyms were closed. I couldn't, I had a little tiny gym in my, my mud room. And I didn't you don't have the kind of weights that you have at the gym at home. You know what I mean? So I did my best. I got stuff off of Facebook. I got stuff off of Craigslist, and I built my own little gym, which is pretty decent. I don't use it anymore, but it's pretty decent because my ADD will not let me sit in my front hallway when I have stuff at home to do. So, but yes, during COVID, I had to figure out how to bring my fitness or my health to another level where I wouldn't gain that COVID weight that everybody was dreading and everybody has dread and everybody is struggling with now. I didn't want to do that. So I was like, okay, the thing that I can control aside from working out and stuff like that, the thing that I can control is my diet. And so I was like, wait a second, I can't eat like I used to, because it just not gonna work. Just not gonna work. And it was just in time. It was perfect because it was just in time right before my trip to Jamaica. And so in January, I reached out to my friend Raquel, who she's on Instagram. You can find her on Sugar Free Rookie. She's amazing. She's a baker. She's a fitness instructor. She's whatever. She is like a dietitian. And if you see her pictures, to die for. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at her and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to get on that level. And to get on that kind of level, it's not just going to the gym. It's not just killing yourself on a treadmill. I'm the type of person that I'll work out even up to 4 hours. And when I finally connected with Raquel, and I've known her for years, since high school, middle school, me and her sister were like this. We used to get into trouble all the time. We were both Geminis. Um, but, you know, like, she, you know, I kept an eye on her. I, you know, just admired her tenaciousness and stuff like that. People admire me. I got people that I admire. And Raquel is one of them. So I ended up connecting to her, and I said, I need to take my fitness, my health, to another level. And I want to bring my nutrition up to date to match my fitness, so I won't gain all that weight. And I need to lose some weight and get a little bit more toned for my Jamaica trip. And so that was my goal. And I ended up reaching out to her, and she has like a six week program where she sends you on Friday or Saturday. She'll send you a menu for your whole week. And it's like, you know, 3-4-3 ratio, 4 days, one menu, you know, 3 days, another menu, right? And usually the 3 days are the higher calorie ones, where she'll allow you a little bit more carbs, but the carbs are like really minimal. So you're really, you know, borderline like keto diet type thing, but not keto diet. You're not gonna, you know, struggle. You're going to struggle to eat all the food, because you could not imagine how much food your calorie deficit contains till you're actually measuring it out and you're trying to eat 4 or 5 meals in one day. So I went through the program with her, which was amazing. And if I'm correct, I think I lost like, what was it? 20%, what was it? 20% body fat. I think I lost 20% body fat. I should have looked back and had those numbers ready for you guys. But I lost like 20% body fat. I lost like 10 pounds, 10 plus pounds. It was amazing. It was amazing. And my body was on point when I went. And so it was just something that I really, really like needed to do. And it got me into, by the time I was 2 to 3 weeks into the program, I had it all mapped out. I got the menu on a Saturday. I did my shopping on a Saturday, and on Sunday I did my meal prepping. I started with plastic containers. I threw away the plastic containers because of the chemicals that they contain, and I got all glass containers. BJ's has amazing glass containers with the dividers in it. So if you ever see my meals and stuff like that, or if you've ever looked through my Instagram and stuff like that and seen my meal prep pics, and you see those glass containers with the dividers, I've got those at BJ's. And you can actually get them on Amazon too. Amazon has everything. But, you know, she always told me, drink your BCAAs. Like if you're craving sugar or something like that, drink your BCAAs. I got into BCAAs and EAAs. This one has 20 grams of aminos, 10 grams of essential amino acids. Those are really good for building muscle and maintaining muscles. BCAAs are more for like maintaining muscle, like so you won't break it down. Because when you're at a low calorie deficit and, you know, like borderline keto, you don't want to lose any muscle mass. So in order to maintain that, this is what I was drinking. And it has like 7 grams of BCAAs. I usually get this at Flex Appeal. It's $36, $35.99. On Amazon, I will warn you, it is $45. About $45 or more. It's good. I was getting it on Amazon until I walked into Flex Appeal in Methuen next to Choice Fitness, and I was like, wait a second. I was like, this thing is like $10 less. So I started getting it there. My protein, I get also at Flex Appeal. I was doing plant protein, but my plant protein was just as expensive as my BCAAs off of Amazon. My plant protein was like in the 40s and stuff like that. And it was only giving me 30 grams of protein per 2 scoops. So, and it was Nature's, what was it? Nature's Garden of Life. Garden of Life is the plant protein, because I had to research how to get more protein out of a plant protein. What are the proteins, what are the name brands that have the most protein for plant protein per serving? And Garden of Life and another one was on there. And there's a video on Instagram where I compare both, and Garden of Life beat the other brand. The other brand is one that's out there all the time, and for some reason it's coming, like, it's gone. It's out of my brain. But I decided to go with isolate because I am lactose intolerant, so that's why I was doing plant. But isolate really cleans up, this particular isolate, which is IsoSurge, really cleans up their protein to the point where it doesn't bother my stomach like a whey or, you know, fully dairy, non-processed, like, protein would. So, IsoSurge, Mutant, it's from Mutant, is really, really good, and I like it. It doesn't bother my stomach, and per scoop, it's 25 grams of protein. So, if I put 2 scoops, I'm getting 50 grams of protein right there. So, after my run with Raquel, I started thinking, how can I adjust all this information that I've gotten from these 2 rounds of 6 weeks worth of diet menus and stuff? It's very, very convenient, and I would highly recommend anybody that's starting their nutrition like journey and they want to start matching up, bringing that up so they can fuel their workouts. So that's the mind change. Instead of working out to eat, you need to eat to fuel your workouts. So that's the mind change that you have to process. Because once that mind change turns, that's where you level up. So if people have seen my before and after pictures, it's a game changer. Yes, it is a game changer. I have been heavy. I have been overweight. I have 3 children. I have a 30-year-old, 22-year-old, and a 14-year-old. So I've been through the mommy process. I've been through the mommy weight, the baby weight. And there's only so many years that you can say, yeah, this is baby weight. There's only so many years. Like the kid is like in like elementary school and you're still saying it's baby weight. No, there's only so much time that you will be allowed to say this is baby weight and get on top of it. Because a lot of people are like, oh, how, it's not just about working out your core. Yes, it has to do with that. But that center weight right there is very, very key to your health. That center weight, that center girth right there is the difference between living regularly and being borderline diabetic, having high cholesterol, having hyperlipidemia, having hypertension. Any metabolic issue that you might have, that center girth right there, that weight that you maintain right there, that is indicative of any health issues that you might end up having. So it's very essential to lose that weight. Once you lose that weight right there, it's all easy peasy. You know what I mean? All this other weight, like the ones underneath the arms. Yes, I look like I have a little bit of flyaways, but I do not have flyaways, people. That is muscle. That's my muscle right there. But, all that other stuff, easy peasy, because all that other stuff is not indicative of metabolic issues. It's the center mass that's indicative of metabolic issues. Right there. That girth, any weight you got right there, the bigger it is, the more likelihood you will have metabolic issues. So, diet, when people say that abs are made in the kitchen, no lie. It's no lie, because I can be low carb for like 3 or 4 days. The minute I have a pizza, and that is my cheat meal, pizza. Okay, it's sad but true. The minute I have a piece of pizza, the next morning, a lot of those pictures that you guys see me like sporting out my abs, it's the morning after pizza. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Your body learns to use things more efficiently when you eat correctly. So, let me stop rambling, because I tend to do that, and that's why Jazz Talks is very indicative of my channel. But let me get to the point. And I always tell this to people that ask me about dieting. Do something that you can consistently do on a regular basis. Don't make it complicated. Don't make it complicated. Use all the information that you hear. And this is why I'm giving you my information, because my combination is what I thought of that works for me. So do something that's going to be easy for you. Not everybody likes to measure all the time. But if you get the gist of macros, carbs, fats, proteins, everything has to combine to 100%, right? So that's 100% of one meal is carb, fat, protein. And you don't necessarily have to eat carb, fat, and protein in every meal, as long as your percentages add up by the end of the day. Okay? So macros, complicated. Yes, I gotta give it to you guys. It is complicated. But you know how I learned more about macros? Was MyFitnessPal. Believe it or not, a lot of people are like, it's another app that I have to go flipping through. MyFitnessPal actually makes it very easy, because you enter all your parameters, your weight, your sex, your the amount of exercise you do. Are you a moderate exerciser? Do you just stagnant? Level of exercise, right? Daily exercise. Then it'll ask you for your height, your age, that kind of stuff. And then after you put in all that information, you press process, and it's going to give you all these nice little numbers. It's going to ask you, what is your goal? Is your goal weight loss? Is it maintaining? Do you want to do it fast? Do you want to do it slow? So it's going to give you options once you put in your calculations. And on the description of this video, I have put all the calculators that you can use for this. So the macro calculator will give you your macros depending on what your goal is. Mine is high protein. So it gave me a breakdown of what my high protein would be. And I loosely or closely follow it depending on how fast I want to get to my goals. Like, it'll give me an idea of how many grams of stuff I need to eat. So it's going to give you 40, 40, 20 for high protein or something like that, close to that. But everything, when you see it, 40%, 40%, and 20% all equal 100. So then your actual calorie deficit, I have a calorie calculator. The macro calculator will do it for you. It'll tell you how many calories you should be eating. So what happens is, take your calorie deficit. I also put a separate one on there just in case you just want to follow the calorie deficit and you don't want to do macro, because you can also lose weight that way. You don't have to do it macro style. It'll take your calorie deficit and it'll divide it into 40% protein, 40% fats, and 20%, carbs. So it'll divide it for you, and then it'll divide it into however many meals. You divide that into however many meals you want to eat. So, macros, right? Read more on it. That link that I sent you guys that I have on this description explains it really, really well. Intermittent fasting. A lot of people ask me what is intermittent fasting is, and I do a 16-8, which I am planning to actually shorten my eating window for the purpose of my photo shoot coming up in May. I'm doing a birthday photo shoot that I want to lean out really nicely too. But my fasting window is between 10 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Anything outside that window, I do not eat. I drink water, I drink BCAAs, but I do not eat. I do not eat anything in between those other windows, right? And I just let my body dip into those reserves that it tucks everywhere. You know what I mean? The back is one. Like, people, you know, wherever your body likes to tuck away food, you'll find it. So that's what you're dipping into during those 16 hours of fasting. Your body is dipping into that. And the reason why I do my BCAAs is to make sure that it doesn't eat away at my muscles. Because I don't want to lose any muscle mass in this process. So, and when I break my fast, I usually break it with a protein shake. And I usually do like a couple of scoops of my ISO Surge. I'll do collagen. I'll do, 1,000 units of collagen. I will do creatine. I do 1 scoop of creatine. The collagen that I get, I've posted it on Instagram if you want to take a look at the picture. I get it at BJ's. The creatine I also get at Flex Appeal, and it has to be monohydrate. And creatine, what it does, it just pulls in water from from those spaces in your body, and it pulls in water into your muscles. So increase water. Everybody has an amount of water that they should be taking. Just like anything that you ingest, everybody is differently. And so the whole thing of, oh, you should drink a gallon of water a day does not run true for everybody. My body intake, what I'm supposed to be taking in for water, is 75 ounces. There are water, like any other thing, there's water calculators online. All you have to do is Google water calculators and it will come up. So there are water calculators online. Make sure you ingest as much water as you can possibly ingest. But if you're stuck on the idea that you should be drinking a gallon of water, that's not really realistic for everybody. And I am the type of person that I will start early and I will end early because I do not like being disturbed in the middle of my sleep to go pee. That is the worst thing. The worst thing, because I'm a light sleeper, and once I'm awake, I will not go back to sleep. So a method that I've used is, if you get like a 16-ounce bottle or something like that of water, bring 1 a day. If it's plastic, whatever. I do not use the plastic ones. I try and just stick to my nice thermos. And what you do is set a timer for every hour for 8 hours. And every time that timer goes off, each hour, you chug that 16 ounces of water. You chug it, get it out of the way, and that's 16 ounces that you've got in your system. So for 8 hours, you're going to do 16 ounces, and you're going to chug it so you don't have to think about it and do the sipping thing. Yeah, just get it out of the way. And so that's how I am. Like, I try and do things that will prompt my memory, because I am not the best at drinking water. I will admit, I am not a water drinker. But if you want to increase your water intake, between that, if you don't want to do the BCAAs, between that and just having water present at all times is perfect. But I know that it's easier for me to drink water during a work day because I'm working, and I sit down, I do documenting and stuff like that, and I can easily drink something. But when you're home on the weekends and you're running around and you're doing errands and you're spending time with your family, sometimes you won't remember that. So it's good to have a timer on. So yes, water intake, very important. Intermittent fasting, 16/8. You can extend it. You can move that time frame to whatever is convenient. What they do say is it is very efficient if you start eating within 2 hours of working out, after working out. If you're the nighttime type of person, fine and dandy. Finish your intermittent fasting like an hour before you go to your workout, so you won't feel like you need to bring anything up while you're working out. And as far as my general workout, aside from my ab workout, I am a spin instructor, so I instruct every Thursday. I take my friends' classes on Tuesdays and Saturdays, so I do 3 hours worth of cardio a week during spin. I have increased that to include 30 minutes of cardio on my off spin days. I've increased my cardio because I have goals as far as, like leaning out and stuff like that. So I have goals that I want to accomplish with that. So I've increased the cardio on that. As far as weight training, I lift heavy when it comes to my legs because I want to build. I do light and more reps on my upper body because I want to lean out on the top. So it's a combination of both theories, and you adjust these theories to fit your goals. I am a person that I analyze things to the hilt. I will study things. I will look into things. Good example, protein. If you drink protein before your workout, it promotes bulk muscle building. So a lot of the guys, they can drink protein before their workout to build bulky muscle. If you drink protein after your workout, it promotes lean muscle building. So it's things like that that you can read up on. The benefits of this, the benefits of that, the differences, and see what works for you. So, just recently, probably like 2 months ago, I decided, hey, I'm not going to go heavy on my arms. I'm going to go light, and I'm going to do 4 sets of 25. By the time I am done, my arms are spaghetti. I'm doing the same thing for my back, the same thing for my chest. Like, I'm doing more reps with lighter weight. Doesn't mean that you're doing less. It just means that your goals are different. When you're trying to lean out, that is the best way to do it. Lower weights, higher reps. When you're trying to build, the heavy weight, lower reps is the way to go. So that is for my general exercises. My legs, I do 3 times a week. Doesn't mean I go heavy 3 times a week. Means one day I do a couple of complex workouts. I do complex workouts, knee rehab workouts, and then in the middle, I'll do accessory work. And then on Sundays, is where I team up with my girl Teresa, and we just like do heavy, we do combinations, we challenge each other. So that's more of my fun day, even though we work like heck. It's more my fun day where I'm with a partner, because I've never really worked out with a partner till like Teresa. I've helped people work out, but I've never worked out with a partner per se till Teresa. But yeah, so that's for my general workout. But as far as my nutrition goes, that is pretty much my idea of intermittent fasting. So I'll start eating at 10, I'll stop eating at 6. The calorie deficit calculator is here in the description. You use that calorie calculator to calculate your calories, and it's going to give you 3 settings. And I'm going to tell you right now, people are very tempted to go for the setting that has you losing 2 pounds a week. I'm going to let you know, anything that you gain fat, anything that you lose fast, you will gain fast, because it's not something that's sustainable long term. So I want you guys to choose something that you can do long term. So when I say long term, calculate your calorie deficit, go with the medium, go in between, don't get over ambitious, especially if you're a beginner. Go with the medium one, okay? You calculate that. If you're not going to do macros, just divide that number into, 3 or 4 meals. And there is your nutrition. And we all have a rational idea of what good nutrition is. Veggies, chicken, seafood, like fish and things like that. Like turkey, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini. We all have a general idea of what good nutrition is. Doesn't mean that every now and then you can't cheat, but when it comes to beginners, I highly don't recommend cheating. I highly don't recommend cheating, because cheating will turn into, oh, I really messed up the whole day. Cheating, I think it's just like, okay, I had this one particular thing, and then that's it. I was done with it. And I moved on, and I'm back on track. Don't get used to cheating when you're a beginner till you know you can control yourself after that cheat meal. Okay? Don't get used to it. Discipline yourself first. And then once you're disciplined, you're not going to really want to cheat. Like, I really don't have the need to cheat, people. So, discipline yourself first. Then there's the link to the macros. You can do that. And just pick high protein. High protein. And high protein is for like muscle building, right? So you got a calorie deficit. So you're going to be shedding those pounds, and you're going to be building muscles. Bam. That's my goal. And that's why my body looks the way it does, because it's reconstituting itself and it's recompositioning itself. So my people, I hope this information is helpful. Put any questions that you have on the comment line. And sorry I couldn't go live. I will figure it out, and we will get live feeds so we can actually interact. Okay, my people? Peace out.